Hello, my name is Martin Jönsson and I'm the CEO of Alzecure Pharma. Thank you for attending this presentation. This is the disclaimer for today. And what we will go through is who Alzecure Pharma is, what we are focusing on, our pipeline and the science, and also the progress and the achievements and the plans we have for 2023 and forward. Alzecure in brief, we are a company who are focusing on Alzheimer's disease and pain, areas of huge unmet medical need. We can be seen as a spin-off from AstraZeneca since they left the field. And then Alzecure was founded by researchers from AstraZeneca who worked within CNS, and then with the sponsorship of the Swedish Alzheimer's Fund and in collaboration with Professor Bengt Winblad from Karolinska Institute. We are a very experienced team with competence from early drug discovery, development, business development and commercialization. And we are based in Stockholm at Karolinska Institute. And we have developed 3 platforms of small molecule projects. We have one project called Alzstatin, which is an Alzheimer's project, where we are developing compounds to prevent that individuals are developing Alzheimer's disease. Then we have NeuroRestore, which also is an Alzheimer's project, where we want to help people with cognitive disorders to improve their ability to learn and to remember. And then we also have a platform of pain projects, and that platform is called Painless. And we are a publicly traded company since 2018. We are available on Nasdaq, First North, Premier Growth Market. And we have a market cap of over 300 million and a cash position of 54 as presented in our latest interim report. And our business model is that we are a research and development company. We want to develop our projects into early clinical phase, up to phase 2, phase 2A, and then to out-license. But we also are interested in out-licensing our project earlier than phase 2. And through out-licensing, we want to finance the company so we can drive other projects as far as we can, and then to optimize the value for our shareholders. We are only working with small drugs, small molecule drugs, and there's a reason for this. And the reason is that small drugs compared to biologics are very, very much smaller, and with that also have a higher likelihood of success in projects in CNS, where the target is the brain, because the molecules need to pass the blood-brain barrier. And that's why we focus on small molecule projects, but also because there are other benefits from small molecule projects, since you can develop an oral medication and also have a lower production cost. So there are several advantages with small molecule projects. And this is what our pipeline looks like. We have 6 projects in our 3 different platforms: NeuroRestore, Alzstatin and Painless. And in NeuroRestore, we last fall had a positive readout on our phase 1 study, where we showed safety, tolerability and also target engagement, that we activated centers in the brain which are central for cognition but also depression. And then we, with the Alzstatin project, we this year came with a new additional CD, and this is great. We are in preclinical phase with 2 molecules now. And then we also have the pain project, where we yesterday actually had great news. We reported on positive phase 2 results on safety, tolerability and in pain with our compound ACD440, which is a TRPV1 antagonist and a first-in-class molecule. Then we also have a project called TrkA-NAM, where we have a negative allosteric modulator focusing on osteoarthritis, area with a huge unmet medical need. And in our project, we have a close collaboration with key opinion leaders and experts in the field. Examples like Bengt Wimblad at Karolinska Institute, as well as Professor Maria Eriksdotter, also at Karolinska, and also, for instance, Professor Henrik Zetterberg, which is well-renowned within the field of Alzheimer's. And Alzheimer's is our primary focus. Alzheimer's, every 5 seconds, a new individual are diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And the cost of Alzheimer's is higher than for both diabetes and also or oncology and cardiovascular diseases together. And in the coming 30 years, we can expect that the number of patients will triple due to that people are living longer and longer and that we have an aging population. So we have a huge unmet medical need here. And at the same time, we are really seeing progress now in the Alzheimer's field. And we can also see that as a de-risking with regard to enter Alzheimer's projects and also investing in the field. We have had a validation of the amyloid protein targeting approach, where several compounds have validated that approach, and this is very positive for our projects. And we have also had positive outcomes in clinical trials in phase 3, including approvals. And we are also now having vastly improved biomarkers and diagnostics, which is increasing the likelihood of success in the studies, since we become better and better at really picking the right patients. And at the same time, we also see increasing investments in the field of Alzheimer's. We see it from that now additional big pharma companies are entering the fields, and this based on the progress that has been seen. And also we are seeing more investors coming in, investing in different projects with private equity. And also for us, for the Swedish market, we know of EQT, of course, and they have launched a fund which is focusing on dementia and Alzheimer's projects. So we really see increased activity here. And when it comes to Alzheimer's, it's important to understand the disease progression to also be able to evaluate the different projects which are ongoing and how they can help the patients. And when it comes to Alzheimer's disease, of course, we see a cognitive decline, and this is illustrated in this curve that you see on the screen. And disease-modifying treatments like the antibodies, which are now entering the market, what they are doing is that they are slowing down the disease progression, but they are not increasing the cognitive ability in the patients. Here we instead have symptomatic treatments which are developed to improve the cognitive abilities in the patient. And in this area with symptomatic therapies we are working. But then what you really want to have is also a preventive treatment, and here we are working with Alzstatin, and I will talk more about these projects. And the 2 projects we are having is Alzstatin, where we are working on to prevent the disease progression, but also to offer a disease-modifying treatment. And here with Alzstatin we are focusing on reducing the production of the protein amyloid, and amyloid beta 42 in particular. And here we are developing an oral medication. And then we have our second project, NeuroRestore, to help the people who already have developed cognitive disorders, and here to improve their ability to learn and remember. And if we begin with looking at Alzstatin, as I mentioned, Alzstatin is to prevent or delay disease progression. And what we are focusing on here is the buildup of plaque in the brain. And the antibodies are going in to remove plaques. But what we are focusing on is to really see to that we diminish or stop production of the protein which is causing the buildup. And this we are doing with Alzstatin, focusing on A beta 42. So we really want to stop Alzheimer's from developing. And if we see how we are doing this with our Alzstatin compound, which is diminishing the production of A-beta-42, which has a tendency to cluster up in the brain and create plaques over time. And this we are doing through a gamma secretase modulator, which is reducing the production of A-beta-42. We have shown that we can do it to up to 50–60%. And then also to produce other forms of A-beta which are potentially protective. So what we want to do is to compare to the antibodies. Antibodies are going into a brain which already is broken down. Here on this picture you can see how the brain where the antibodies today are indicated are broken down to 20–30%. Instead, we want to preserve a healthy brain to see to it that you don't develop Alzheimer's. And how Alzstatin differs from the antibodies in from another perspective is that it's a small molecule, so it has a higher likelihood of passing over the blood-brain barrier. Also that with a small molecule we can develop an oral medication instead of injections or infusion where you need to go to the hospital. And also developing a treatment where you can go in early to prevent that you develop Alzheimer's disease or delay disease progression. And also we are hoping to be able to develop a medication with fewer side effects. And we see multiple target population for Alzstatin. We see the opportunity to develop a preventive therapy, but also to develop a maintenance therapy in patients who have already developed Alzheimer's, and potentially then to treat in combination with antibodies. Then we go to our second platform, and that is NeuroRestore, to improve memory and learning capabilities. And what what NeuroRestore is doing is that it is strengthening the signaling of the neurotrophin, which are central in the brain when it comes to cognition. And with our compound, we have shown that we can improve cognition and memory capabilities. And what's interesting with NeuroRestore is that it's not only in Alzheimer's disease that we see an opportunity for NeuroRestore, since there are several other indications where individuals have cognitive disorders, like in Parkinson's, in traumatic brain injury. But we also see the opportunity, for instance, to treat depression. And we have preclinical data showing that the compounds seems to work there. And also we are showing that we have target engagement on the centers in the brain which are central for depression treatment. And what we have shown when it comes to improving memory and learning capabilities is that we can show that we can improve the ability to learn, the ability to store what you have learned, and also the ability to remember what you have learned. So to impact all three of these phases. And we finalized phase 1 last year, and we are now preparing for phase 2. And during the fall, we have come with new data, which is actually showing that NeuroRestore also have a potential for disease modification and improving brain health. And this, where we can see is that we can increase the levels of BDNF in cortical neurons, improve mitochondrial activities, induce neuroid outgrowth, and also improve the synaptic health, which can be measured through synaptic markers. And we can also show, and have shown, that we also can impact long-term plasticity effects in the brain. So even if the compound isn't in the brain anymore, because it has disappeared based on half-life, etc., we can still see an effect from the compound. So it looks like we really are doing changes in the brain. So very, very exciting abilities. And if this holds true, needs to really be proven, this is really opening up opportunities for NeuroRestore to not only be used to improve learning and memory capabilities, but also to protect brain health. So stay tuned on this. And when it comes to patents, always so important. As an example, we have a US patent on our lead compound, which has passed through phase 1. And this patent is until 2039, and this excludes the exclusivity. So we have a good patent position on NeuroRestore. And then our second focus area is chronic pain. Chronic pain is leads to many problems such as suicide. It's as common that chronic pain leads to suicide as actually depression. Chronic pain is also the most common cause to sick leaves, which really impacts both individuals and society. And also we have in the US an opioid crisis, which is reversing the main age. So we are really seeing the need of more efficacious and safer treatments. And this is areas where we really want to make a difference with our projects. And our different projects are TrkA-NAM, where we are focused on osteoarthritis and severe pain conditions. Only on osteoarthritis there are more than 300 million patients, and this is a growing population due to aging population and also overweight problems. Then neuropathic pain, which is the individually biggest areas within pain. More than 600 million individuals are suffering from neuropathic pain, and here we have ACD440. And ACD440 builds on what 2 years ago was awarded a Nobel Prize in Medicine. And we are with ACD440 focusing on the TRP1 receptor, and we have developed, or we have, a TRP1 antagonist, and this compound is now in phase 2. It's a project that we have in-licensed from Big Pharma. It originates from AstraZeneca. There is multiple scientific support for the mechanism, and we have developed a gel formulation to reach the receptors which are upregulated in many of these patients who are suffering from neuropathic pain, and to reach these receptors without causing systemic effects. And 1.5 years ago we came out with positive results in a 1B study in both safety, tolerability and on efficacy. And then we went to the FDA, had a meeting with them. Based on the feedback, we developed a trial which we started last summer, and which we have come with positive readout on safety, tolerability and in pain. And with this positive readout, we can see that we have, with this study, shown proof of mechanism. We also have shown that we have a significant pain relief effect. Also that it's well tolerated. The results are in line with the 1B results that we received 1.5 years ago. And then these results are also supporting continued clinical development, which we are now working on. But of course, really going through the results we have to build the best possible development plan. And as I mentioned before, neuropathic pain is an area of huge unmet medical need. Sales more than $11 billion, and with a double-digit growth, expected to reach over $25 million in 2027. And then our second pain project is TrkA-NAM, which is a non-opioid treatment for severe pain conditions, where we are focusing on osteoarthritis. It has a strong validation. The validation here can be seen as the antibodies targeting NGF, the NGF antibodies, which showed a very good safety effect, but they had a safety problem. And these safety problems led to that the FDA stopped these trials. And But at the same time, we saw that the efficacy with these antibodies were really, really great. And what we have developed here is a molecule, a so-called negative allosteric modulator, a TrkA-NAM, which is downregulating or blocking the NGF signaling. And here, based on this, we hope that we will, with these compounds, show a really potent clinical effect, which we have shown in preclinical models. Also that we don't have the side effects which the antibodies had. And it's thought that these antibodies side effects was due to the fact that they were hitting the receptor P75, and this we can't see that we are doing with our molecule. And then also to develop an oral medication, and also to offer something which can be an alternative to the opioid, so which isn't causing addictions. And with TrkA-NAM, we last year showed that we don't only have an analgesic effect, so pain relieving effect. We also have shown that we have an anti-inflammatory effect. So with these new results we had last year, we see new opportunities of TrkA-NAM. And then to go into our goals for 2023, it is to progress Alzstatin ACD 680, which we really have done. We have chosen a new CD, and it's now in preclinical development. Also to have preparing for a pre-IND meeting with the NeuroRestore to follow up on the results that the positive results we had last year. And then to advance TrkA-NAM to preclinical safety testing, and to out-license one of our projects. And then our goal, which we achieved yesterday, was to deliver study results on our 2A study, which we did, where we, as I mentioned before, had positive results both on tolerability, safety, and pain. And then, based on this, why should Alzecure be an interesting company to invest in? This, that we are targeting areas of huge unmet medical need. We do this with a strong team, a capable team, being able to develop, identifying targets, develop molecules, take them through preclinical work, and then into humans and also into patients. And this we have shown that we are able to do. And then with our platforms, we have first-in-class properties, which really can be game changers. We also do parallel investment with interesting follow-up programs, and also that all our projects have multi-billion-dollar opportunities, and also that we now, since last year, developed into a phase 2 company, and this year we have shown that we have been able to deliver positive results in this phase 2 trial, which feels great. So with that, I would like to thank you, and all the best.